Good evening, everyone. Welcome to ULTV Study Abroad 101. I'm Shafali Shrivastava, Communication Manager at University Living. In the past few sessions, we have discussed countries and application process and which course to go, but we understand. You have a lot of more questions with respect to the new intake coming. So fortunately, we have Mrunali Kulkarni with us here to help you and discuss all these things in detail. Hi, Mrunali, welcome.
Hi, thank you so much for inviting us today, Shafali.
Thank you. Mrunali has started with Vision International in 2013 and with the experience of 8 years from media industry. So I believe it's 9 years, Mrunali, right? The Vision.
So yes, we started in July 2013. So this July will be completing 9 years and stepping into our decade.
Oh, congratulations in advance about it.
Thank you so much.
Good. So how come from media industry you started into international ecosystem? What made you go through this change?
Good question. So when I completed my graduation in BCom, I had a subject called HR, which I started liking a little bit that time. So I entered into HR markets. And then slowly I also started understanding something about this industry simultaneously, because somewhere in ages back, I've thought of studying abroad. But for some personal reason, I could not fly and I could not go there. Then I thought, if not me, then why not I myself can get into this particular industry and assist other students and fulfill their dream. Because not fulfilling our own dream and what that pinch is all about, I can completely understand. And hence I got into this particular industry. And major thing or the most important part is, Shafali, I always wanted to do something of myself and never wanted to work under someone. I wanted to be my own boss. So then from there, this journey has started and had little bit inclination towards having something of my own, was aware about this particular industry. And that's how I just stepped into it. So I categorically remember when I started this in July 2013, my first student went to Australia to UNSW for Masters of Food Science and Technology. That also I know. And she went in July 2014. So it's a complete 1-year struggle. And in my first year, I could send only one student. From one student to right now, 200 to 50 students. This is the journey is all about right now.
Right. And you very well said that I understand that few parameters must be there because of which you could not fulfill your dream, but you are helping million of other students in fulfilling that their dream.
Correct.
So that's a huge responsibility that you have taken for sure. And as you mentioned that your first student went to Australia. Now, the countries which you cater majorly are UK, Ireland, or Australia, correct?
Correct. And now this year onwards, you can say September 21 year onwards, we stepped into and we add a new feather to our cap, that is USA.
Okay, great. So let's start with the first question. I believe whenever somebody is planning to dream to study abroad, the major question, the first question is not actually the country or, courses or any university, it's the commercials involved. So how much does this cost to study abroad? If I talk about with respect to all these three countries you mentioned.
See, to talk about these countries, predominantly UK and Ireland, it's a 1-year master's studies. So I will say starts from 12 lakhs odd, which is approximately 12,000 pounds, can go up to 35 lakhs, which is again 35,000 pounds. So that's just 1 year of tuition fee. So starting, as I said, 12 lakhs to 35 lakhs rupees. Let's talk about rupees. Probably then, it is quite clear for our Indian students to understand rather than just calculating that amount in mind and converting that. So from 12-13 lakhs can go up to 30-35 lakhs. That is up to Manchester, King's College, Imperial College and all. That is 1 year master studies, and another 10 to 12 lakhs rupees will be your 1 year living expense. So anything between 12 to 40 lakhs is your UK and Ireland cost to study 1 year master studies. Bachelor's will cost you somewhere between 40 to 70 lakhs and up, as in when you go for a better and bigger universities, name wise and quality wise, then your price goes on high. That is about UK and Ireland. But if you talk about Australia is 2 years master's degree. So in US and Australia, it is 2 years master's degree and 3 years of stay back visa. So 2 years master's degree will start, say, about 30 to 35 lakhs, can go up to again 80 lakhs in US case, and in Australia case, the highest and the biggest university, that is University of Melbourne, Monash, UNSW, will cost you somewhere between 50 odd lakhs for 2 years of master's degree. So this is just a tuition fee. And you can say around 10 to 12 lakhs per year, that's your living cost. But of course, as everyone knows, students are allowed to work there part-time, so that you can cover by working part-time.
Right.
That's how
So
it is.
for bachelor's, it's going to be 40 to 70, and for masters, the UK
Easily.
and Ireland talk about 12 to 14, right?
Yes.
1
Yes.
And then over here, it's different because the time period duration is much more
Yes.
further than the
It's almost double. So like
Yeah.
if you, as I said, if you're going to universities like Coventry, Brunel, then that will cost you around 17 to 19 lakhs 1 year master's degree in UK. But if you go to Deakin, La Trobe, RMIT, such universities, that will cost you around 30 to 35 lakhs. You can go to CSU, then you can go to San Jose, then you can go to NJIT, UMBC. That will cost you same 35 odd lakhs. That's how it is. And of course, in US, your non-state, that's your private universities, will cost you a little more, like Stevens and all will cost you around 50, 55 odd for 2 years. Just a tuition fee.
Sure, makes sense. By means, do you have information with respect to the financial aid provided to the student who want to fulfill their dream? Maybe if you have any scholarship in mind,
yes, definitely.
Yeah, country-wise,
definitely
you can share.
Yeah, so we as Vision International specifically, when we apply for students application, at the same time we also apply for scholarships. Okay, so academically, if the student is eligible, then that students get scholarship along with offer letter itself. So most of the time, it's absolutely doable in Australian universities. Most Australian universities are giving minimum scholarship of 20%, which are non-group of 8 universities. So yes, Vision International that way helps students. So at the time of application only we apply for scholarships as well. So when they send you offer letter, that's when they can send you and scholarship as well in the offer letter itself.
Great. I'll definitely circle back to this part because I believe scholarships are availed based on your application.
Yes.
Application plays a major role, but we'll definitely circle back over there. Before we start doing that, it's very important to know what intakes are placed in these countries. So if we can share how to select an intake, because every course and university have a different intake. So which intake to be selected, like UK, Ireland, or Australia with respect to that?
Let's talk about UK, Ireland, USA first. So their major intake and the actual intake is always a September. Okay, that's called fall intake. So September is the major intake. All top universities, each and every university, especially to do with these 3 countries, are open in September itself. That's a major intake because in India also, you finish your academic year by April, May. Your results are out by again July, August maximum. So it is quite easy to fly and take that particular intake. At the same time, you get top-notch universities, you get all ranked universities. So it's like the pool is bigger in September intake. At the same time, having said that, you also have January intake with these 3 countries. So US, UK, Ireland, all these 3 countries have January intake also. But I can say hardly 30% universities are open there that time. Top universities are definitely not open for January intake. It's called spring intake in USA, and in UK and Ireland, it's called Jan intake itself. So mediocre universities, private universities are majorly open for this particular intake. To talk about Australia, there is nothing like a major intake as such. There are 2 intakes, February and July. Both intakes are open for all universities of Australia. So be it is top university, that is like universities from DO8 category, that is group of 8 categories, or non-group of 8 categories. All universities are open, both the intakes, that is February as well as July. That is the intake criteria, and students ideally should start their application exactly a year before, so that this is something I'm telling you out of the box. You want me to wait? And
no, I would definitely like you to add more this thing. It's important.
Great. So as far as admissions are concerned, Shefali, my suggestion and a message to all students, those who are thinking to study abroad, please start thinking, because now next September 23 applications will start in next 5 months, and those who are really inclined towards overseas studies, they should start their pre-preparations in terms of giving their GRE, GMAT, TOEFL, IELTS, Duolingo, whatever the exams are, plus gathering their letter of recommendations, start thinking towards how to write SOP, all these things right now, immediately after their exams in April, so that they have enough time to do research, enough time to practice, and immediately start applications by September 22 for next September 23. By doing this, Shefali, why I always ask students to, be ready and start your preparations or start your application on time, for a simple reason. A, if you are very early bird, you get maximum amount of scholarships if universities are offering that, because they have enough time to assess, they have enough time to go to the nitty-gritties of your profile, read your things carefully. They're not burdened, they are not pressure with so much of applications.
They're not
are just
desperate for any selection.
correct. So they are having quite some time in their hand, they have enough time to assess your application. Not that any university or country, they just haphazardly assess any application, but I will say applying in much in advance or on time will play a vital role in applications timeline. It will give you maximum scholarship. University will assess your documents very well. Then they will also give you offers on time. So there are students, they come at the 11th hour, ma'am, apply karna hai, and then they have to unnecessarily wait for 3, 4, 5 months, and then till that time the anxiety has been every time increasing. So they are disturbed, their parents are disturbed, entire house is disturbed because offer is not there in hand. And then they see their other friends applying, their other friends receiving offers, they start their application, ma'am iska application offer bhi aa gaya, and this and that, but you have not applied on time. So rather than just thinking re main jaun ya nahi jaun, my sincere suggestion to all the students, those who aspire to think about overseas studies, please start your preparation and just apply. Once you apply, university will easily take minimum 8 to 12 weeks to revert back. Some top notch universities even more time, 3, 4 months, 5 months. You have enough time to think about your studies, whether to fly or not to fly. You apply to the university, that does not mean you are going or you have to go. You are just checking your probably eligibility and understanding whether you are eligible to study that particular course or that particular degree in that particular university or country. So apply karo. Till that time you have enough time to think over it. By the time university is sending you an offer letter, again after sending an offer letter, universities give enough time to think and proceed further. So my suggestion, no harm applying, rather than just running at the 11th hour.
True. And it's not just saying in respect to courses or university, even in our accommodation also, we ask them to book early. As you mentioned, there are a lot of offers, a lot of good opportunities are only to people who apply early, who are early birds. Because then you have done enough research with yourself, you have all the data, you can, you have a backup plan. If you're applying at the end, so you don't have a backup plan, which is actually a major fail if you consider with respect to the, starting your education.
In fact, I also suggest students, and I will keep suggesting this, after completion of your this semesters, like your final semesters right now in the month of whenever, March, April, May, spend some time doing research. We consultants, there are many consultants in the markets. After we counseling you, don't trust us. Do your own due diligence, do your own dipstick, talk to your people, go on LinkedIn, talk to your friends, your colleagues, your families, members, those who have already pursuing their studies. Just because मेरा friend गया तो मुझे जाना, should not be the attitude. It's a matter of students' career and parents' hard-earned money.
Sure.
And we at Vision International, this is our principle, to give them right assistance, guidance. We don't give any kind of fake information. We don't just run behind students. If students are genuinely interested, they definitely come to us. And the best part, of course, I'll come to that point later, but to talk about and to stick about your question, students should definitely apply on time, and they should do their own stick research, connect with right people, and then start their application.
Right. So you have very well mentioned that students should apply on time and at least a year time minimum. I believe 1 year time is something which is
Correct.
required. So I believe already few students who are applying for 2022 are already in the mid of the cycle of that.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So what is the process? Like, what is the step-by-step guide if I want to understand if I'm planning to apply in 2023 maybe? So what should be the preparation? What should be the first step that I should take?
So, I would suggest, Shefali, to all students, and this is my message, that first you ask yourself what you want. Okay. Secondly, after you have decided and you have answer in your mind that this is exactly what I want, then start looking for the right consultants. Okay. Once you meet that particular consultant, then you think whether what country is actually right for you. Where is your forte? That country is known for what? Like, for example, if you wish to go for Masters of Engineering Management, going to New Zealand for Masters of Engineering Management makes sense, or probably US, Australia, Canada, or UK, that make more sense. That you have to also do your own due diligence. That is how it is. Once you are ready with your country, then which all universities? Once you are finalized with the university, then start working towards your documents. Now, documents plays a vital role here, Shefali. And students needs to understand that they have to take things very seriously, provided they themselves are very serious towards this journey. Because as I said, many students we meet and they say that मैं मेरा friend गया था, मेरा बड़ा भाई गया था, उसने बोला तू आ जा, मैं यहाँ पे तेरे को set कर दूंगा. It doesn't happen that way. Yes, I'm sure your brother is there or your relatives are there and they will probably help you to settle there. But there is something called you giving interview at the end of the day to the companies, that your brother or probably your relatives are not going to go there and give interview on your behalf. So my suggestion, you do the dipstick, be very serious and start working towards documents. After your academic documents, your statement of purpose, that's your essay, and letter of recommendations, these two things plays a vital role. So my suggestion, your academic documents, then your exams like your GRE, GMAT, IELTS, TOEFL, PT, such exams, Duolingo, and then third important part is your LOR SOP. So while writing SOP, you have to be very thoughtful. University is not going to meet you, okay? But after writing your essay, they will understand your entire profile. They'll be able to read your mind, and they should be able to read your mind. ऐसे आपको SOP लिखना पड़ेगा, like who you are, what are your plans, what is your vision and mission about country, about university, all these things that you have to jot down. You have to give it in a brief, not like 5 pages essay. Sometimes universities are only or rather comfortable, or it's a mandate that you have to write everything in just 500 words. So you should be able to describe that everything in just 500 words. Okay, so these things plays very important role. Your academics, your exams, like your pre-exams, pre-preparations, and LOR SOP. So we at Vision International also help students with our sample SOPs, how to write SOPs. We have our own editing team. They take care of SOPs and LORs as well. That is how it is. Once you are ready with the entire bundle of documents, then the actual process starts. Okay. And probably countries like USA, UK, Canada, it's a deep process. It's a long process. So it takes minimum, you can say 2 weeks easily to start. Once you start and once you are ready with an entire set of documents with consultant, that time it takes minimum 10 to 15 days to apply. That's how it is, because university keeps on asking, this is missing, that is missing, upload this, send this, do your WES and stuff like that. So you have to be ready with that. So application process is quite deep. It's not easy cake that banaya kha liya. Okay.
Right.
Yes, some universities are quite easy. Everything is just online. But major topmost universities of any country, our applications are that way quite critical. That is how it is. So application process starts from there. After application, it takes minimum 8 weeks to can go to 12, 15, 16 weeks. Not much, but sometimes, yes, top-notch university, 16 weeks also, which is 3 to 4 months to get back to you with an offer or whatever the outcome of the application, that is either you have selected or you have rejected. That is how it is. And then once you have offers in your hand, then the second part of the process starts. That means you will again come along with your parents will understand, sit with us, how much financial aid is required, how to show finance, in what all options you can show finance, how much to show finance, what are the timelines to show finance, how much to pay, when to pay, your cash letters, your I-20, your COEs, lot of things. And then the financial process starts. Then the medical comes into the picture, then insurance comes into the picture, then vaccinations, and then the visa application happens. For visa application also in some countries like US, we have to go for a mock interviews. Then our visa team upload all the documents which are like our students' academic documents and as well as parents' financial documents. So then again set of document that we upload, then we take the date for students, stuff like that. And it's easily a process of 6 to 8 months and sometimes to 1 year also. So this is what is all the process is all about. And also with people like you, we also assist students with their accommodations.
True. True. So you already shared a quite detailed step-by-step process, which is very important. And as I mentioned earlier, that application plays a very major role with respect to the scholarship. So you already covered how important application plays, but still with respect to scholarship, if we talk about what is it something that a university looks into a student's application, because there are lakhs of people applying, but not everybody gets that.
Correct.
So how to be among those few thousands or few hundreds, maybe?
Hundreds, you can say. Yes.
Yeah, hundreds.
So as I said, only academics most of the time. So they have academic scholarships, then they have something like vice chancellor scholarships, but the parameters are like what? Academics only. So your academics has to, or rather to match to their scholarships criteria. You should be an early bird, as I correctly said. You cannot expect applying in the month of March for September and then expecting a scholarship. No, you have to be very much or sometimes before on time ready with your application. So that once the university opens the door to start their application for next intake, you should be one of those first people to submit your application with us or through us. So your academic plays important role, your timely application plays an important role. Then sometimes universities also come up with some kind of scholarships, very rare, but those are like based on your sports activities, your extracurricular activities, stuff like that. But yeah, vice chancellors and such kind of scholarships are based on only academics.
True.
That's how it is.
So now these application process, do they vary from country to country? Like UK, Ireland, I understand they have a very similar pattern. Yeah. But Australia, UK, Ireland, among three of them, what is the difference if I talk about UK, Ireland as one and Australia as well?
Except Australia, to talk about documentation, everything is same, but except Australia, all other countries are asking for letter of recommendations. In Australia, New Zealand, you don't need letter of recommendation. In Canada, for PG diploma and diploma certification diploma, they don't need LOR SOPs. Otherwise, all the countries and universities have a common process of submitting your 10 standard, 12 standard, your degree mark sheets, your degree fail mark sheets, your transcripts, your passport, 2 letter of recommendation from college. If you're working professionals, then your resume, your appointment letter, 1 letter of recommendation from your workplace also, your prerequisites, that is your IELTS, TOEFL, GRE, GMAT, whatever as per that particular country and university's criteria. That's all about it. Otherwise, everything is same. Grading scale, everything is same.
Right. So you mentioned that SOP and LOR is something which is not asked at Australia, but SOP and LOR is important. Yeah. And I believe we get a lot of questions around these.
Yes.
So if you can share some hacks that how an SOP should be, you've already shared the skeleton of it, but maybe in a little detail form, maybe some quick hacks about SOP and LOR, how to write it, how to get it written.
Okay. See, in LOR, you don't have to write, I have been a monitor, or I have been a student leader and this and that. Yes, you can write about your leadership skills in LOR, probably with just one line. But you don't have to write complete essay in LOR. Okay. So my suggestion, your LOR should not be more than 2 to maximum 3 paragraphs. Those paragraphs should also be like probably 2 to 3 liners paragraphs. Okay. So that shouldn't be more than that. Shouldn't be exceeded more than that. In SOP, that's your statement of purpose essay. You have to be very crisp. You shouldn't be writing the story about you. You should be writing the pointers, explain those pointers in a very smart manner. And as I said, about you, why this country, or why this particular plan, your vision, mission, country, about country and university. That's how it is. So in short, brief, crisp, to the point, and that's it. No long stories.
Right.
Because universities are going to get applications through the entire globe, from which all places, means poor they have so much to assess. They will not want to have someone writing 1.5 to 2 pages of SOP. Yeah, 1.5 is still fine sometimes, and with most universities, but not like 2 pages. Give them who you are in just brief manner, but to the point, crisp.
So it's really important to keep your SOP short and crisp, because you have to make yourself, you have to differentiate among those lakhs of applications.
Correct.
So yeah, that's really important, and you cannot just give them any generic achievement that you have done, or maybe you can cover it, but not in a very detailed manner.
Correct.
So if somebody wants to go over there for an SOP and they have an okay average academic record, but they're really good in sports, or they're good in some other research plans. So can you give a little idea that how to go about that?
Shefali, as I said, first, always with any university or any country, the first criteria or the basic criteria is your academic. Okay. So yes, as I mentioned in my earlier statement, that your SOP and LOR plays a vital role. But if the university's first criteria, that's an academic criteria, if the student is not matching, then most of the time that application is absolutely rejected. Yes, again, as I said, there are universities, those who are little lenient towards their academics. Okay, but of course they are known. They also have their criteria that at least students should have 52% in their academics. But if they have good work experience, if they have given a good GRE with good marks, and LORs are good, SOPs are good, sorry, then they can definitely, university can definitely look at their applications. Then sometimes universities also conduct their credibility interviews. That is how it is. So not a problem. They can still try, not a problem.
Great. So now we've discussed SOP, we have already discussed how things vary from country to country, maybe what is the cost involved from country to country. Apart from these, what are the pros and cons in studying, in studying all these countries? I'm sure each country has their own specific and their own, specialized judgment. So what are the pros and cons if a student wants to choose between these countries?
Pros and cons, you mean to say amongst the country or
Amongst
versus
the country,
India?
amongst the country.
I will not say there are any cons as such. Each country is known for something or the other, and each country is going to add value in students' profile. Okay. But as I said, if you want to go for a design management, or you want to go for a fashion industry, and you think about going to Canada, or for that matter, Australia, then probably that may not help you as much as European market will help you. If you wish to go for law degree, or you can say some medical degree, not medical direct, but physiotherapy, occupational therapy, kinesiology, that is even better in UK, US than even New Zealand, or for that matter, Germany. So each country is known for some industries. And as I said, at the time of this application process, you got to think, you got to do your own research after counselor assisting you, because it's your life, your money, your career. So it's not only 100% counselor's job. जैसे हम स्कूल में जाते थे, parents cannot every time blame teachers. There is something called self-study, that student has to come back home after school and has to do their own self-study. Simple as that. So after counseling guiding you, whichever consultant you go to, everyone is good. Okay. After counselor's guidance, it is student's job to think about it, talk to people, connect with people. University has their own chat system these days. So it's their own dipstick. So there is nothing like cons, I will suggest, I will say. Everywhere you go to, where your professional is welcomed and in demand, then there are pros. After even, and again, after leaving from India and studying there, again, like how is your approach? Bas hum gaye, I am studying at Manchester, I'm studying at University of Melbourne, oh, I'm studying at top notch in MIT, okay, Carnegie Mellon. तो मुझे job मिल जाएगी and people will come to me. No, that shouldn't be the attitude. So even after reaching there, and even after studying at top-notch universities, it is your job from day one, how you have to keep your ears and eyes open in the market. Universities are most of the time conducting job fairs. They give internships most of the time. So you have to do a justice to your own profile. Attend those job fairs. Start writing cover letters, prepare your resume, start connecting with people on LinkedIn, start connecting people there, and then start applications, start looking for jobs from immediately, probably after your first semester, because by first semester it takes time for a person to settle there, understand the nitty-gritties, taste the water, how deep is that. And then I feel within 6 months of time, we Indians are quite smart that way. And we should start looking for job, as in students should start looking for jobs. That is my suggestion. ऐसे नहीं होगा that job आपके पास चल के आएगी. You
True.
have to be pro. You have to be taking efforts, connecting with people, writing to companies. And as I said, you are going to face that interview. So what value will you add to that company and what value will you bring on the table? That matters. Then whichever country and university you are from. ऐसे बिल्कुल भी नहीं है that you have to go to top notch universities only and only those students get placed. No, not at all. It's how smart you are and how can you sell yourself. Simple. And what value will you add?
Right. I think it's fairly, we can fairly say that you should definitely start early and you should do your due diligence on time, which is very
Correct.
important. You should not be dependent on someone.
Correct.
And you need to be ready for the effort which is required.
Yes.
Because without an effort, you cannot land any job or any, in fact, you cannot score good marks even if you're anywhere in the world.
Correct. Correct.
So,
Correct.
yeah. So now we have discussed how important role application plays and all that. Do you have any personal story which you have already seen by meeting all these students? Would you like to share with us?
Story of what exactly, if I may ask you?
Maybe you can say like any experience, for example, maybe respect to the application that somebody, like you mentioned, that somebody came to you at 11th hour. Now I have
Correct.
to start. My friends are getting all the selection process and all that, but I'm not.
Okay. So I have good stories with regards to Australia because when I've started my business in the year 2013, I've started with Australia. So I love recruiting for Australia. Quite easy. Like you wake me up at the middle of the night at 2 and I can just give a parrot pitch about Australia. And so I categorically remember Ravina Kamble was student's name. And she had come to me in the month of January 1st week with USA rejection for engineering management. And then she had come to me in January 1st week. Then I've counseled her. That also we've never met. So everything over a call. She was that time literally howling and she was so upset that my God, my entire world has collapsed. But then first important job of any counselor is to pacify student, listen to the student and understand where that student is coming from, what's his vision and mission, what parents thinking towards all these things. Not just it is not a business, but here I feel personally, I feel we are handling emotions also along with huge finance. So I understood her, I listened to her, then I gave her list of universities where she was eligible to apply for an engineering management. She is, I think she was chemical student. I don't remember, it was in the year 2015 or 16. And then she studied everything on the same day, that night. Next day she sent me all her documents. She said, ma'am, these are my universities. I applied to 3-4 universities. She selected Victoria University from Melbourne, Australia. And I categorically remember, we just that time speed up her application. We requested university to send her offer letter as early as possible. I think she was lucky, and our relations with university, we got her offer within 2 weeks. Luckily, her finance was ready that time because she had showed the same finance for USA. And both parents were government servants. So it was even better because they had their PF. That time, Australia used to count PF also as one of the option for showing visa for finance. So we could take her PF, we could take her education loan and everything. She equally supported me well. We've done everything. We paid her fees. We filed her visa and she got through in February. She went also on time. I think we just requested for 1 week extension. Lovely. She supported me. University supported me. We got her visa on time. She flew in the same month, that is February 2016, she completed her master's, and immediately, I think within 3 to 4 months, she got a full-time job also with the salary of 76,000 Australian dollar. So she was so happy. I think it's somewhere there on my Facebook. Or Facebook also, she had tagged me somewhere, and on my LinkedIn, she has given me a recommendation that all thanks to Mrunali ma'am, she changed my life 360 by giving me Australia as an option. And she's so happy today. She's absolutely settled. I think she's planning to buy a house also somewhere there. Then there was one more student. Apparently she was my very close friend, Charul Manglani. She was also planning to apply to US that time, and many universities rejected her. She was an engineer, then a MBA, then a banker, something that sort. And I suggested her, why don't you try for Masters of IT at Monash University, because academically she was very strong. Now that time she listened to me. She went in July 2015. I categorically remember, she was my second student. So July 2015, she went to Monash University, Australia, which is today's number 55th in the world. She successfully completed her master's. University gave her internship. There only she got absorbed. Actually, she was very smart. She is very smart. Then she got picked up, got her job also on campus, part-time job on campus with university, then full-time in the same internship. Then she also got her permanent residency. Today she also got married, she bought her own house. Now she's a citizen of Australia. So there are a lot of, in fact, there are many stories I have to tell you. But just to tell you these two stories, which how I have changed people's perception towards other countries also. That countries like US, Ireland, Germany, they are equally beautiful, amazing, approachable, like US, Canada, and UK. That it's just that you have to research. That
Right.
is how it is.
Research is really important, and of course,
Yes.
you were there to help the previous student, Ravina,
Correct. In fact, we've
but
got, yes,
yeah,
sorry to cut you in between, but we've got someone in Melbourne. He's working with one of the Indian restaurants. So he's also helping my students to get part-time job in that Indian restaurants with one meal free. So then there also we could assist students for part-time jobs in Melbourne.
True. Networking always helps, and I believe that's the new mantra that every school
In
and
today's startup
education business
market.
schools are training these students to learn, because
Correct.
networking is the new future if we talk about. And
Networking is net worth, I feel, these days,
yeah,
because only that will take you to next
true.
level.
True. You've already actually answered pretty much part of my next question, is that how Vision International is helping student. But your previous story has already shared that how drastically you help someone and
Correct.
deal with her. But still, if you want to give us little synopsis around
Yes.
maybe the services.
My favorite question, in fact, this is one of my favorite question. We are little different, Shefali, here than probably, I will not say the rest of the market. Yes, there are players like us also. So I started this particular company in the year 2013. Then I got married 3 years back. Now my husband is also has joined, and we both are running this particular show. So the USP of Vision International, we being the owners of the company, we counsel students. We don't have counselors. We will never have counselors. I have my assistants, those who assist my students to take care of their documentation part. They apply on students' behalf. They liaise with universities and everything. But when it comes to connecting with students, guiding them, meeting them, their parents, showing them the right path is mine. And now my husband Rohit, we both do that. So I think this is very important. How you guide students. Okay, so this is what exactly we do at Vision International. Number one. Number two, we start morning 9 o'clock, and I've been answering calls till 11 in the night also, personally. And it is there actually mentioned on our testimonials, also on our website, as well as on Instagram handle. So you can hear people saying that in a video or writing that as a testimonial, that I do answer this call sometimes at 11, 11:30 also, or otherwise last call my 9:30 to 10. Be it is public holiday, Saturday, Sunday, whatever. So I'm always available. And the best part about Vision International, we don't want to send thousands of students. We wanted to send good 200-300 students, but a quality students with a quality service. Because I know personally I will not be able to counsel that many students, and that is not even a vision of the company. The vision of the company is to have a better brand name in the market and a one-on-one personal counseling. That is how it is. So these are our USPs, and this is how Vision International is little different than others.
Right, and to be honest, dreams are only those dreams which don't let you sleep. So,
Right.
of course, I can completely relate to your point that you're answering your call in the night as well. So,
Correct.
yeah, that's there. And now on this note, we're almost near the closing time. If
Correct.
you have any fine golden words for the viewers who will be watching this today.
Yes, for a message to a student, as I said, it's a matter of your career and parents' hard earned money. Both things are equally important. आप नहीं बोल सकते हो कि पैसा important है, career नहीं, और career important है, mom dad का पैसा नहीं, no. And both things are very sensitive. So be very sure before taking any step. It's a complete 360-degree new life. Life changes a lot there, and there is no U-turn. And if you take U-turn, then you will only waste your time and parents' money. So my suggestion, do a due diligence, dipstick, research. I will say a student should actually start thinking towards the second and third year, like 2 years before going abroad. Like if you're planning for 2022, then you should be thinking from 2021. Think about everything. Country, universities, pros and cons. वहां पे जाके सुबह उठना है. You have to cook your own breakfast, wash your own vessels. मम्मी पानी का glass दो, ऐसे नहीं है. So there are a lot of things. Of course, these things will make you independent. Super power that you will gain, mental power. But at the same time, it's not that easy. So most students, they feel homesick. They feel depressed. So before you take any step towards your new journey, I will say, please research. Okay. And for us, I will say we are absolutely different. We take each student as our family member. We assess students like our family. And I really don't think about, oh my God, I have to send 500 students. That is something, not that result I'm looking for, because looking at result will never give you a result, is what I feel. We only think about our vision, and that's how Vision International works towards this particular journey for students.
Great. Thank you so much, Mrunali. So guys, we have, if I just want to narrow it down to 3 points: research, due diligence, and efforts. You should be ready to put that effort. These 3 pointers are the major take. And of course, you've already seen the session. Thank you so much for everyone for joining us. Thank you, Mrunali, and the viewers who are already there. On this note, we'll be closing our session today. We hope you have enjoyed the session. Looking forward to see you guys again next Friday at 5 p.m. You can check out our previous session as well around similar topics. Have a great day, guys. Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Mrunali. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All the best.